organization started late in 2016, and we have been conducting literacy sessions in public spaces, in schools, in malls, everywhere where we can get a chance to meet up with children. And I'm grateful that we got to partner with Goethe-Institut and did a literacy session with Get a Clue competition.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I contacted you, because we were working together already, and
Yes.
we wanted to do something to promote reading even in time of pandemic. And I remember that was last year, somewhere in July, August, this area. I can't remember exactly what time. I contacted you and said, let's do this together. Or can you do that? Can you help me? Can you do that for me? And you accepted to be my assistant and a project manager to promote reading. Yeah, but before right at the beginning, I found this interesting idea about a detective story for children, actually from my colleague from the Goethe-Institut in Lyon. He contacted a German author, Julian, who does detective stories for children. And he did actually a French version it was a kind of digital library day or something like that. Can't remember exactly what event. And I thought, maybe he can do that also in English. And I found out that Julian, he translated the stories of course, in German, in English, in French, even I think in Japanese, I've seen it, and in many other languages as well. And so what we did, we first asked him for allowance to use his book, and he was even glad and so kindful and create us a summary of his story. Like a short version that we can publish on digital, on social medias.
Yes.
So, and then that was our aim, because the people could not go to libraries, a lot of the shops were closed. And so we sent it out, we sent a digital version out first through Facebook, but also to libraries. And there you help me, to how many libraries did we reach? Can you remember?
We sent to 3 big community libraries across the region, and we did 2 community libraries in Windhoek itself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
totally we had 5 community libraries that we reached out to. And I'm glad that this was a good opportunity for children, especially as you've mentioned that in COVID times, people were just lying idle, schools were opening, and after 2 weeks they were closing, and children needed some reading challenges that they could engage in at such a time, so that their love for reading could still be ignited even during such a stressful time. We all know that reading also helps with one's mental well-being. It helps with one's stress. Remember that time it was really stressful because COVID-19 was just starting and we didn't really understand the dynamic. It's different from now that we've gotten used to it. So I'm really glad that the children got that opportunity to read digitally for those who managed, and even for the improvisations that we did. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. So since it was a detective story, of course, the children had to solve a problem or a kind of riddle, or I don't know. And we don't know how many children read this story actually in the digital version, because that we don't know. But we know how many children send it in the per email the answers. So how many reply did we get? Because it was a kind of competition as well. How
Yes,
many?
we got 2 responses online after we
Mm,
had, we did this, we advertised it on Facebook. I want to believe it was
yeah.
also on our Facebook site
Mm,
and also on our website. We did advertise and also on other platforms that deal with education. And we got 2 responses digitally.
yeah. Only
Yes,
2. Yeah.
yes, only
Of
2.
course, that we were not quite happy with the result. No? So
Of
did not
course,
work.
yes. We
And
were
for course,
anticipating for more.
yeah, and our aim still was still let the children read, let
Yes,
them
yes,
enjoying reading. And so we said we could not give up.
yes,
Yeah. So then you had an idea what to do still to get reach our aim.
yes, yes. Mm.
So what was then the
We
solution?
we then decided to to allow, with the permission of Julian first, the author, given the copyright issues, we had to ask him for permission if we could print out copies that we could distribute in the community libraries that I mentioned earlier on.
Mm,
So Julian first, fortunately, he allowed us to make some copies, and I distributed about 100 copies to the different libraries. And from those, I got 35 entries that we returned.
how many?
Uh, 35,
Mm,
35, yes, 35
mm,
people from the different libraries returned the copies with the answers. Yes,
mhm. Yeah. So that means we got 55 back, but still the
yes,
other 50 or 45 were still used. They were not left overs in the library. There's
yes,
just
yes,
children still
yes,
use it. Yeah.
yes, yes,
So we can say we reached at least 100 children or even more
yes.
uh, to read the detective stories.
Yes,
No?
yes, you could say that, yes.
But let us see. Maybe we can have a look to give the audience an idea um, what it is about, the story. And
Would you like
uh,
us to solve some mysteries? Because
maybe,
the kids
maybe,
had to solve the mystery.
yeah, maybe you can solve one for us now. And let us share my screen so
Okay.
that you can see what did we send out.
Yes.
So, so that is actually a page who was done by Julian Press. By the way, a lot of people thought that it's the name of a company, but Julian is a Christian name and Press is the family name of the author. No?
Yes.
Yeah. They
It
were,
looks like a publishing company, Julian
yeah,
Press.
some people were confused and said, no, that's a name, that's the author. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, so that was the welcome page, detective competition. And that was running actually from the 20th of October till the 30th of November.
Yes.
People from outside Southern Africa or Namibia, they must know that this time is actually quite a warm season, or warm or even hot. So it's not a cold winter here. We have summer at this time, which also plays a role when we're talking about COVID. And so the situation at this time when we started in October was quite relaxed. No?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah, it
some
was
live.
different. It was different from July when we initiated this idea. By
Yeah,
October, things had sort of eased up.
yeah. So some libraries were open
Yes.
already, yeah?
Yes.
Some were closed. So that is the welcome page. And so you see here that you have English version, the French version, English, and that looks like Spanish as well. And yeah, so Julian Press has a lot of a series of books like Get a Clue. In German, it's called Finde den Täter. And so that's it. You see, the books are translated in 25 languages, which is quite a lot. So it's quite a famous author, would not have been translated in 25 languages. So you see, that is how the story is built up. You have a story here that explains a little bit the situation. And on the other side, let me get where is my nice pen I can show here. So yeah, on this side, yeah, there are like hidden object pictures where they can find out. Here is a question. For example, why is Lily so sure that lightning couldn't hit the police station? So, and then we must find out, you can see here, there's something happened. I don't know why yet now. And you see, when you see here, get a bit closer, we have a hint that the police station is 1 mile away.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if that plays a role already to find why. But the solution is given then at the next page. No? It's simple. Lily explained her friend in the taxi on the way to the police station. There were 3 seconds between the lightning and the clap of thunder. Remember? Light travels much faster than sound. So they could see, and they learn also a little bit by that, that you can count actually how far the lightning was, because you hear it, and then you can measure how far it is. Yeah.
I you know what,
Yeah.
Jesse? I also loved the fact that this book was not only to promote reading only, but there was also a linkage between other curricular subjects. Already there, the children were already learning about science, but they were just reading this book for fun. But already they get to deepen their knowledge in terms of lightning, in terms of the sound. They already know that light travels much faster than sound just
Yeah.
through reading a book. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And by enjoying reading.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So reading actually cuts across all other curricular subjects.
Yeah. So, but also you can do that in a kind of reading this in a kind of competition.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so here in the second page, for example, we don't have to read everything here, but we just can look on the question, what is missing from the case? So if I get that picture a little bit, you see somebody broke the glass here. Yeah, they broke the glass, and you can see the glasses are here on the floor, and here that is like, yeah, how do you call it, a cupboard or Vitrine, I would say in German, that with the weapons. So now I would like to ask you, now let's see how long you take. What the question is, what is missing? And how can you find out it's missing? What weapon is missing? Yes. Do you know regarding the picture?
Let me see, let me see. Or should I think I could have read the story first, then I could be able to solve the mystery. But let me just look at the picture and see.
Yeah, look for you look for the strategy. What strategy do you use to solve the riddle? When you see when you see the picture.
All right. Yes. I already saw that the window has been smashed. Something has been taken there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And looking at the the letters written there. There is something that is missing. Yes, because the sword I can see is still there. The
Where's the sword?
arrow
The
I see is
sword.
still
The sword
there.
is the sword. That's not the sword. The sword, but the
The
sword is
sword is
there. Yeah,
up here.
it's
Yes,
here.
it's
Yeah.
there.
Okay, that's there. So that's not
Yes,
missing.
it's there, so it's not missing. The crossbow archer, the crossbow is there as well.
Where's the
The
crossbow? That's here. There, the crossbow. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Then where is the X? Where is it? It's there. I see it. Where is the X?
Isn't it the
The
X?
dagger. The dagger is there as well. The dagger is
Mm-hmm.
there. The knife is there.
So
The
you must
revolver.
actually the name of the weapons, eh?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
what it is.
So that's a strategy I could use. If I would look for the one that is missing from the
How do you call
names. I
this
would look
here?
for,
What is this?
you know,
I only know the German
isn't
name.
that a bow and then it's a bow? No, you
A
use a bow
bow.
and an arrow. It's a bow.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it's a
But you
bow.
see, that is also a good example. Now we are not quite sure. The children are still, even when they don't get the real answer, they still get a hint and they can still continue. You
Yes,
see, when I'm going back to the page now, let's say, oh, I was a bit too fast. They could not really, or they were not 100% sure. On the next page, then they got the solution. The only object missing from the case were the quiver and
and this
its
arrow.
arrow. You see,
Yes.
so that that means even when they could not solve the riddle,
And it's
they are not
true.
disappointed. They still can continue, which I think that is very good. You have a like I said, you that motivates you not to give up. You give a little, get a little bit help, and you still can continue reading the story. And I'm sure the children now they want to know what is next. Ne?
Yes, I believe that it ignited they were challenged to read more. If you
Mm,
don't solve the first mystery, it's okay. Let me go to clue number 3 and try and solve clue 3 and see if I can find it. So I
yeah,
really loved how this book was crafted.
yeah. So I quickly maybe um, uh, go through just to see that is another story now. Clue 4, 5, and they're coming the story closer and closer. You see, I like the pictures as well, and for every picture, it motivates me to look closer and to see where is the difference, where is this what I'm have to find out. You see, till then getting closer until the last page. There we have the last page, and there was a question. The last page. Where did the crossbow archer go? And now and then I think we won't tell you, ne? The
Yes,
people they're
yes.
watching, they
They
must
need to
find
go
out.
and find out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where is it? Where is he? Where is he? So because people from Windhoek, they can actually come to our library and borrow this book. It's a bit difficult to get them still in English because some of the books are sold out. But like you said, maybe I stop sharing my screen. So you said we got 35 response
Yes, we got 35.
from the library. It was basically the most came from Greenwell Matongo Library, isn't it?
Yes, it came from Greenwell Matongo. Maybe just to share some light, Greenwell Matongo is a place where there are less privileged children, if I may
Mm,
say. So it was really a positive response just to see more interest coming from there instead
mm,
of them coming from the town library instead.
mm,
Yes.
mm. Yeah. So you said there were 35 answers, and how many were correct? Were they all correct?
18, no, 18 from the 35 were correct.
Mm,
And unfortunately, like any other competition, there had to be three winners.
mm,
So we had to do a lucky draw where we selected three winners from
mhm,
the 18. But all the 18, they were given something. Remember, the prize was they were going to get the book, the real book itself. So the three
and
learners,
if I can interrupt, the
yes,
book, it was a special book because the book was signed by Julian Press, by the author,
yes,
isn't it?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 indeed it was. So it was really something special. So the three managed to get the book, but all the others were also rewarded with other, small gifts so that they could just feel appreciated that they participated and they did well in the competition.
Mm,
And maybe just to add on to the competition, we did the competition day at Greenwell Matongo Library, seeing that most entries came from that library. And
mm,
the children actually came because remember that time children were allowed to come to the library, and we were
mm,
pretty excited just to get the prizes, to know that when you read, you can actually be rewarded for
mm,
reading. Yes.
mm. And I think we were on TV as well, eh? That was NBC came and
Yes.
had a
And a
small
few other
report.
newspapers as well.
You see, I think I missed some of them even. But we have a small record from the prize giving. Should we maybe show it to our public?
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
you could show them.
Then let me just open this. Takes a second because sorry, it's live live on YouTube. And up, let me share. So the sound, or sometimes I forget to switch on the sound. So it's 1 minute 15. Let's just look at it.
The competition is meant to promote a culture of reading among young children. The Institute provided hard copies to different libraries in Windhoek and online versions for those who are not in Windhoek. The head of Greenwell Matongo Library, Delt Lefeifa, explained how the initiative came about.
The Goethe-Institut is always proud to participate at any reading promotion, and that was the main initiatives to promote the children to read with fun. And I found this Get a Clue story from my colleague from the Goethe-Institut in France. He got me in contact with the author of the book Get a Clue, and so he wrote us a story, or he compiled us one of his stories for our Namibian children.
35 children participated in the competition. 18 completed the challenge, with 3 ending in a draw. The children were to read, answer questions, and find hidden clues on their quest to the end. The Greenwell Matongo Library also received a book and 2 globes on the day. The competition is
Up.
meant to promote a culture of reading
Nah,
among
now
young
I
children.
missed my stop button.
Yeah.
So at the end, we could say it was a success.
Yes, indeed it was a success, but I would like to just note that in Namibia, in some parts of the country, the children do not always have access to the internet. So probably that's why when we tried to do a digital version, it was not so much successful. But we are still grateful that when we reached out to the libraries, we still could get some response and people who participated in the competition. But I believe in times to come, maybe things will also change.
But I think, if I may add this, this is this is a conference on digitalization of culture, but it shows also that the printed books, they will not disappear.
Yes,
And digitalization books, they cannot replace the printed book itself.
Precisely, yes,
Yeah,
yes, precisely.
but and I think that's a good example that not everybody can be managed through digitalization and
Yes,
transform to digitalization, but it can push, it can help, it can promote, and to get to the target, like reading. It can be sometimes digital, but we cannot completely replace the hard
physical book
of the
itself,
physical book
yes.
itself. I think that is one of the lessons I've learned through that project. I don't know how you see what your opinion on that is.
Yes, yes. I want to agree with you on that one, that you can never replace the physical copy, but the digital technology exists to aid the physical
Mm.
copy. So that is what we saw. That is what was evident from this
Mm.
competition. We saw that as much as digitalization works, we also need to have some physical copies just to complement
Mm.
what the digital
Mm. Mm.
program aimed to do.
And the actual problems with the digital version that was, of course, the children that didn't have access to the internet. Is
Yes,
correct?
yes, 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 yes. It's
Um, did they have devices to read?
that's also another problem. Yes, that's also another problem. Yes.
And those they, yeah, sorry.
You can go ahead with
Yeah.
the question.
And my third question: the people in Karatura, they had a device and they had maybe internet connection somehow. Did they had enough credit?
Yes, those are also the questions to consider also when we are looking at this. As we were looking at it, I saw that probably that's why they managed to respond when we sent physical copies. But when it was the digital one, probably you could have a device, but you don't have
Mm,
the data.
yeah,
So,
the data. Yeah.
mm,
Do you know in that library where we were in Cradle Matongo, do they have access to free Wi-Fi connection when they're going there?
they do at the moment they do not have access to
Mm,
free Wi-Fi at the moment.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also, you see something in the future, we have to maybe, yeah, have a look into it. I know that they have access to the internet through the computer when they sit in front of the computer, then they are connected to the internet, but they cannot access with their own device, like
Yes,
their own
yes, yes,
phone,
yes.
or and just ask for the Wi-Fi code. That's
Yes,
that's
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's a
So there,
provision that they could have, given that there are a lot of children who visit the library. It
mm,
could really benefit a lot of children who come to the library.
yeah. So that was the main obstacle, even when we provided an event in digital form, that people could not access to it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Do you think it has changed now a little bit after, let's say, 1.5, 2 years, or is it more or less the same?
I would say for now it's more or less the same. That's what I would
Mm,
say. Yeah, because even up to now they still do not have free Wi-Fi, and but they
mm,
are eager. They are eager to participate in reading activities. The
mm,
children are eager to do stuff, but then the situation is not really allowing. So I don't
mm,
know. Maybe in future it could be something that we could look at and see how they can be assisted in terms of Wi-Fi.
mm. Okay, so there's still space to improve in the future.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Yeah, Helen, I would say we are nearly at the end of our presentation. And what I can say is, please have a look on the internet or in your library or at Goethe-Institut for books of Julian Press. We have to thank him very much for the opportunity that he gave us. And also from my side, I have to thank Read Namibia and your help as well. Without you, I could not made it at this time. I need some help.
Wow.
And since we are pre-recorded this session, let's see if we have some people for the Q&A session. If you have some questions or would like to have some addresses or ideas, please feel free to ask your questions now after the end of our pre-recorded session. Last word to you, Helen.
Thank you so much, Depe, for inviting me to be part of this pre-recorded session. I'm really glad that I was part of it, and also just to be part of the reading competition itself. To me, it was an innovative way on promoting children at such a discouraging time, that is the COVID-19 period. So I'm really glad that I was part of it, and it was happy just to see the way children were received the competition, the way children were eager to solve the mysteries. I believe that such innovative ways, I'm really grateful to Julian also for compiling the clues in such a manner that just ignited the passion for children to read. So I believe that in future, if we could have more, that would benefit the children in Namibia.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.